You know, the cool thing about learning is that you can learn whatever the hell you want. But here's the problem. We don't have time to learn everything. It's impossible. So we've got to be smart about what we really want to invest our time and energy in. So wishing, it's kind of one of those up in the air terms. It doesn't make a lot of sense until you understand that what we're doing is making a bunch of wishes. We wish on a bunch of things. Oh, it would be great to learn that skill. Oh, I wish I could play guitar. I wish I could sing as well as you did. But to actually go through and learn that, it's another thing entirely. So what we're gonna do is figure out what is it we actually are willing to learn? What is it we really want? So what we're gonna be doing is something called a cost-benefit analysis. Approaching investing in skills just like we would invest in stocks. It's like you're assigning how much a child is worth to you almost. It's like, oh, you're basically assigning a monetary value to dreams. How much is this dream really worth to me? Because you can't choose everything, so you gotta pick one thing, and assigning that monetary value makes it a lot easier to decide between Rachel and Ben. I mean, come on, Rachel's got some pretty hair here, but Ben can breathe fire. You gotta like Ben. This is assuming that you want to be either transgender or a fire breather, and if you do, no judgment here. But you have to choose between one or the other, or maybe you could do both, but you gotta choose one first. So which one do you choose first? Cost-benefit analysis. That's how you go about doing it. So what we're gonna do is get a giant list of all the skills we wanna learn and then get the cost and the benefits associated with that. And the cost is how much would somebody have to pay you to sit down, learn this skill, and then teach it to them. And then the benefit is how much would you pay somebody else to be able to get the skill instantly. When I say cost-benefit analysis, what's an example of a skill that's worth it versus not? Let's take fire breathing. Is that a skill that's worth it? Well, if I can learn how to breathe fire, I think that's pretty damn impressive, so I'd probably be willing to pay, I don't know, $1,000 to be able to just give that money to somebody and then they give me a magic wish that says I can breathe fire. I'd be able to, impress people at parties and, if I ever get in a fight with somebody, just like really show them how I feel, spew more than just words. But if I was to have to go through and learn that myself, I mean, I wouldn't be able to teach it myself. I'd be way too scared about burning myself or hurting myself. So I'd have to probably pay somebody to learn me. So whoever is paying me to learn the skill, that'd have to cover the cost of that tuition. And then also any risks associated with me learning how to breathe fire and the time associated with that. And then I've got to teach them as well. And the risks associated with that. So that's more like, I don't know, like $5,000-6,000, maybe even more. Like it's one of those things I'm starting to go, yeah, that's not the best skill to invest my time in if it's that risky. And your goal is to find something that's worth it. For me, something like presence. This is something I'm working on right now, so I don't even have to have somebody pay me to do it because this is something I value that much. But if I could give money to somebody and say, here's the skill right away and you're world class at it, I'd be like, oh my God, that's perfect. Take my money, just take it all. I'd pay $5,000 for that, no problem. So we've got that list of skills and we should have like one most important investment, maybe two or whatever. And the next step is to reduce it down, but just going through and getting a more accurate sense so you can bring it down to say, this is what I really want to learn and I know what's required for it. Do some research about that. See what really goes into learning the skill. Buy some books on the subject. Find a subreddit and post in that, or talk to a friend who has already gone through and learned that. If you want to know how to play guitar, go ahead and buy a beginner's book on guitar and just skim through. You don't have to actually go through and do the exercises, but just see how much time would be required and get a more accurate sense of what you're getting yourself into. Because being able to play guitar has different standards. Do you want to be able to get paid for your level of playing guitar, or is just simply being able to play for your friends enough? Whatever you decide is correct here, but identifying it right now will save you a lot of pain in the future. Try to define that wish a little bit more. And then figure out how long it would take you to make that wish and revise your benefits and costs associated with that. And after you've done that, you should have a very clear sense of this is what I want to do, okay? This is what's worth my time. What is it we really want to learn? And what's the progression through that? Once you have that answer, we can go through and ask ourselves, how do we get ourselves to want enough to take action on it? Because wanting it versus actually doing it, there's a leap there. There's a leap that has to be made. And that's what the next part is all about. If that sounds interesting to you, click subscribe. And as always, thanks for getting better.